Hello and welcome to this playthrough of Arkham Horror the card game's first campaign, Night of the Zealots. I am going to be expecting that you're kind of familiar with the game to start with, so I'm not going all in details, but a little bit of details we'll go into. So I'm playing dual-handed. I'm playing William Yorick, the Gravedigger, who has an ability to pick up his assets when he slays monsters, who's going to be a monster slayer. And Finn Edwards, the friendly neighborhood bootlegger, who will sell you alcohol for the right price, who will be a clue getter. And we'll start out by drawing our hands. This William Yorick deck is I'm trying to do a blast deck, so it's kind of different from the ordinary ones. So let's see what we get. Just shuffle the deck. Pick one. That's a weakness, so we're going to put that out. So a keepsake, prepared for the worst, and beloved. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to throw out one keepsake and beloved, and then really hope and pray for prepared for the worst to give us a weapon. And this is another weakness. And this is the Rite of Sanctification, which is kind of useless, but we don't have any blessed tokens yet. But we have some soaking ability here. And for Finn, I forgot, we have to be the game master. Let me see the cards. So I think we're going to be keeping Perception and Deduction and Lone Wolf. We draw two more cards. Let's see what happens. There's really not much setup to do right now. So we drew a hand, so we'll just have to take a look at the scenario. We're going to be playing a standard, which means that we have +1, a 0, a 0, a -1, a -1, a -1. -2, -2, -3, -4, 2 skulls, a cultist, a tablet, a tentacle, and an elder sign, which means that the average difficulty that we have to work towards is +2. So let's get that in by clicking standard. So now we have the cash back. And then take a look at the story. So the story is that there's been we're in the autumn, and it's been a really hot summer, and it's still quite hot. And there's been a lot of people getting aggressive and fighting, and now people started to finding dead bodies around, and everything seems to be getting a bit weird. And the story starts by you and your partners have been investigating strange events taking place in your hometown of Arkham in Massachusetts. A few weeks, several townspeople have mysteriously gone missing. Recently, their corpses have turned up in the woods, savage and half-eaten. Police and newspaper have stated that wild animals are responsible, but you believe that there is something else going on. You are gathered together at the lead investigator's home to discuss these bizarre events. And the agenda deck says, it is late at night. You're holed up in your study researching the bloody disappearances that have been taking place in the region. A few hours into your research, you hear strange chanting sounds coming from your parlor down the hall. At the same time, you hear dirt churning as if something were digging under the floor. And there's a doom threshold of 3, so we're going to flip it when we hit 3. And the X says, as you leave to investigate, the door to your study vanishes before your eyes, leaving behind only solid wall. You're trapped inside your study until you can find another way. And we have to spend 2 clues per investigator, which means we have to get 4 clues, which is here. And we can see at the picture that the door's gone. So, what are we going to do? I think we're going to be just play cards here. So we have Cherished Keepsake, it's free and can soak 2 horrors. And Letter Coat, which is also free and soaks 2 damage. And then we're going to try to get a clue, but hoping to fail. So we have 2 book, and this route rating here, that's in the black circle, is 2. So we have to hit. You have to get a 0 or better. So we're going to throw in Take Heart, try to test. -1, so we fail, and when we fail with Take Heart, we get 2 resources and 2 cards. So 2 cards. That's nice, and that's also nice. And 2 resources. That's kind of going to help us later. And over here, there isn't really much to do. We can play the Streetwise, who will allow us to buff ourselves for money. So for 2 resources, we can get +2 for a skill test. And we can also play a Lone Wolf, which will be more relevant later, which gives us a resource when we start. When Finn starts his turn. So it's not really relevant now. And let's see if we can get a clue. We have a skill value of 4 in book, and the difficulty is 2, so we have to get... Oh, well, we get a +1. So that's a +1. So we're at 5 against 2. And Finn's special ability says that if you succeed by 2 or more, you discover a clue at your location. So not only did he succeed at getting a clue, the Elder Hand also gave us 1 more. Then we go to the enemy phase. There are no enemies, so we skip through. And then we get to the upkeep phase, and it's nicely handled by a Barton. We're getting an overpower skill for fighting, and we're getting Milan, which is really nice. So something is going to happen the next turn. We'll put on a Doom here. This scenario gives you plenty of time. It's the first introductory scenario for the game. So we put on a Doom, and we'll just shuffle the encounter deck. Yorick is going to be a lead investigator. So he'll draw first, and there's a Ghoul. That's something he can handle, so that's okay. And Finn, he gets an Ancient Evil, which is kind of a very bad card because it kind of loses your whole round. So it loses your 6 turns with 6 turns on your 2 players. So it will add 1 Doom to the current agenda. With that done, we're back at the start. I think I'm just going to take a damage and a horror here and play Grete Wagner. So it will get an attack of opportunity if we do anything else besides fighting or evading or resigning or parleying. So that's 1 turn. And then we're going to hit it. Grete gives us a +1, so we're at 5 hand, and it has 2. So we hit it once. And I'm going to hit it again. I'm going to put on damage before I see what happens. So we hit it 2. So it takes 2 damage and it's defeated. And we don't have any assets in our discard pile we can play again. So that's all our actions. And for Finn, we're going to be playing Milan, which will boost his book to 5. That's 1 action. It will cost 4. We'll try to get a clue, so it's 5 against 2. And this is a -1. If you fail, you take 1 horror. So that succeeds. And we're just going to take 1 more before we take the clues, which is the same. So both succeed, and we'll take 2 clues there. Let's see when we can do this. I think I'm really just going to do it now. So we're going to activate this as a fast action. So we'll flip this and spend the clues. And it will tell us that you notice that the edges of your newly purchased rock are tattered and mud-stained. Finding this odd, you shift the furniture aside and pull back the rock. To your surprise, you see the door leading out of the study. You slowly turn the knob and the door swings open, revealing your hallway below. You drum through the doorway, landing on your feet and on soft dirt. The door to the study slams shut above you. The smell of burning wood fills the narrow hall, intermingling with a scent of rot and decay. And it will tell us to put into play these 4 locations. And the study is going to be gone. Let's just throw it here. And we'll be in the hallway, which is just an overgrown hallway. And we have the cellar, the parlor, and the attic. And we can see how they're connected. I don't think there's anything else. Nope. And the new one tells us that a glowing barrier blocks the path to your parlor. As you move towards it, intense heat forces you to back away. Picking up a handful of dirt, you toss it at the barrier to watch in horror as the dirt incinerates. Perhaps there's something in the cellar or attic that can help. And it tells us that we need 6 clues, and we need to spend them in the hallway to proceed. And since we already spent all our actions when we did that, we're just going to the enemy phase, none of those. So we'll upkeep. Might be not really good without having anything to discard. And we'll upkeep. We can just get a skill card. It's a bit. Could use a little bit more. Red of Doom, which means this will trigger. And it's basically said that your house continues to change before your very eyes. The walls have decayed and the ground in many rooms has turned to dirt. It is almost as if you have been transported somewhere else entirely. Also, every now and again you recognize your elements of your former home. So the lead investigator must decide either we both discard 1 card or I take 2 horror. And that's kind of easy. We're just going to take 2 horror, which means that I think we're going to put 1 on her, and then we're going to discard this. We will have plenty of opportunities to get this back. And this will reset to 0. And then we have to pull our encounter cards. Frozen in Fear is one of the bad ones. It's going to make move fight and the weight cost 2 actions instead of 1, and we have to test head to remove it, and head test is not what we're best at. And over here we get a swarm of rats. So let's see. I think we're going to be. I think this is a good opportunity to get a cherry. So we'll spend sadly 2 actions on hitting these rats. If we miss, we're going to hit Finn, but who cares? So the rats have a fight of 1, and we have 5, and they only have 1 health, so they're going to die. And when we defeat an enemy, we can play an asset from a discard pile, playing its cards once per round. So we'll play this. It's cost 0, so it's just free to play again, and we'll regain some buffer. We have 1 more action, so I'm going to be playing Prepared for the Worst, so we can look at the top 9 cards and search for a weapon in the deck. So let's see. There's a gun, and there's a Blizzard Blade, and I actually want a Blizzard Blade and not the guns right now. So it was the last action. So we don't really have anything that I don't need to put in this head test, so we'll just have to take it. That's a -2, I think, if I'm right. Yeah, it is. And if there's a ghoul, it will attack us. So we fail, so this is still a problem. And let's see. So Finn is, they're still together, so we don't get any resources from Lone Wolf. I think Finn is going to investigate the cellar first. So we'll go down there, spend 1 action, flip this. Your cellar seems to have replaced our underground network of icy tunnels and caverns. The cold chills you to the core. So it has a shroud of 4, which is a bit harder to get through, and 4 clues. I think we're going to take 2 of them by trying to do this. So we're going to investigate it, and we're going to spend perception and deduction, which means that with Dr. Milano give us +1 and our 4 book, we'll have 8. And this is a -1, so a bit of overkill. But deduction allows us to take 1 extra clue if we succeed. So we'll get us 2 clues. And perception allows us to draw a card. They go here. And then we can tap Milan because we successfully investigated to get a resource. I think I forgot to do that last time. And for those 3 actions, I think now that they're presenting themselves, we're going to be playing these shoes. They give +1 to his foot. And Finn, he has an extra free action to evade while you're using your foot, so it's going to help a bit if he gets attacked. And you can use this when you're moving, you can make a foot test against 3, and if you succeed, you can move an extra space, which is quite nice. And we also forgot that when you enter the cellar, you have to take 1 damage, so we just have to put that there. With that done, we're done with investigator phase, so we'll go to enemy, which are none of. We'll go to upkeep. I forgot to shuffle it. Okay, could possibly use these extra desperation with the blade, so maybe it's going to be okay. And we get a sneak attack, which allows us to deal damage to an exhausted enemy. I would rather have some book, to be honest. We're going to get a Doom, and the threshold is now 7, and we forgot to read this, so it says the floor beneath you is giving way, and you see a vast network of tunnels twisting into the darkness below. Shapes and silhouettes of strange creatures move swiftly through the tunnels, trying to find a way up. You probably don't want to be here when they do. So we kind of have a time limit here. Not that much, because it's really the first scenario. So for Yorick, I think we're just going to be preparing. So we're playing this Blessed Blade, so we have a weapon. More important, a way to generate blessed tokens. That's 1 action. Down here. Oh, we can't really help Finn because it's way too hard. You only have 2 book here. So we can prepare a bit. I think we'll prepare by... Well, let's just go down here. If an enemy appears, we'll have a way to get clues of it. So that's 2 actions. We'll test Frozen in Fear. +1, which means that we actually are at 4 and beat it. And thank you for that. Then we have Finn. And Finn is going to try to investigate, I think. I think we have to use Streetwise to do it, so let's pay 2 resources. And investigate, so we'll get +2 book, so we are at 7 against 4. We fail. Let's do the same thing again. -1, so that's okay. Let's grab a clue. Let's tap him. We're also alone, so we didn't get the extra run here. So we investigated and we investigated. And I think we're going to try to see if we can make a 5 versus 4. Nope. So still no enemies, so we'll just go to upkeep. This is Finn's special card, which makes you search for illicit items, and it's really just good for a wild icon in this case. So with that being done, I should do this. Yeah, no enemy appeared, so what could we do? We could grab a card, so we are 7 cards. We could also just play this. I don't know if I want to at this point. I think we're just going to use them. We have to do a book test, so to a card. So let's just try. Let's just try. +2. We are a 0 or better. That's not it. That's 2 actions. Now let's just grab a card. I really want to just play all these interesting cards when we get to the tougher fights. So nothing happens. There are no enemies, so we can go to upkeep. At least we can fail a test next turn. And we get another Lone Wolf, which is really unimportant, sadly. We'll add a Doom. We'll draw and encounter cards. We have to test a foot, so it's 5 against 3. We make it, and if you don't make this one, you have to take a damage for each point you fail by, which actually -1. So we actually fail with 1 because this is William and not Finn. So let's just kill her, kill the leather jacket, and it will return to us when the time arrives. And for Finn, a ghoul, which will be the perfect target for this. So I think we're going to start with. Actually also going to get the clue by doing this. So that's quite nice. Let's start out by attacking, and when we just fight with it, we get +1. And then there is some synergy with the Bless and Elder Sign token, which is probably not going to happen. +1 and +1 from Grete. So we are at 6. So we're going to hit this guy. Wow. Okay. That was actually quite unexpected. This is going to deal 2 damage, and we can't use it to get a Bless token, sadly. So this is going to die. When it dies, we're going to tap her and put a damage on her, and grab a clue, because that's what her ability says. If you defeat an enemy, you can exhaust her, deal 1 damage to her, and discover 1 clue at your location. And we defeated a monster, so we can play a card for free. We don't really need this, so let's just take this card and hope that we can fail some tests. Oh, that wasn't bad. That was 1 action. Then I think we're going to try to fail a test, because there are some cards I'd like to get my hands on. So we'll take a test, make an investigation test against 4, which we can't succeed against. So this is a 0, so it's 2 to 4 we lose, which means we get 2 resources and 2 cards. I really would like to get my other Keep Fate. That was 2 actions. And then I think we'll just wander off up here for the last one. And we're going to try to discard some cards, but that's not really a problem. We have some good stuff here. And for Finn, since he's alone now, so he'll get this. He get in our money from Lone Wolf. And we'll walk up here for 1, and we'll walk over here for 2. And at the attic, it says the bloody carcass of a malformed beast swings from meat hooks chained to the ceiling. Blood drains slowly from the carcass, dripping into a small barrel. And this is easy to investigate because it's only 1. There's still 4 clues on it. We only need 6, but we would also like to get the victory points so we can get some experience. So it's 2 actions. And we just investigate. Well, that's nice. Our first auto fail. So we're done. We'll do the upkeep. And we got this. And we got a resourceful to pull them back. So we're going to be filling up. I don't think we need to take heart. So I think that the take heart is going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I also think we have the gun, and we have the setup for the gun, and we have a beloved. I think what do we want to try? I think we're going to throw one of these. When you play it, you discard an item card, and then you can use that to deal more damage. But I think we have the ability to deal with all these things without doing that. And we have 8 cards. We'll get a Doom. So we have a 3. We get a bad card. It's the Flesh Eater who spawns in the attic. So Finn is getting a friendly wizard by the Flesh Eater. A monstrous creature feeds from the rotting carcass in the attic. So, surprise, but it's not a problem. We're going to deal with it. And Finn is going to draw a card. And he gets Dissonant Voices, which says he can't play assets or events. And I wasn't really planning on doing that. I was planning on investigating. And I was planning on investigating first, but now we can still do that. So Finn, he has this free evade action to begin with. So let's try and see if we can do that. So first of all, when we start alone, we get resource, which is always good for this. We're going to try to evade. It has only 1, and we have 5. So it's 3 to 1, so it succeeds, which means it just stays there, exhausted. Did we forget Finn's upkeep? Well, it's better to fail than not to. So it's 1 action. It's not even an action. Then we're going to be investigating 1 to 5, 5 to 1. And this is a -1 because there is 1 ghoul. So that's success, and we can tap land and get research. And for the second one, we get a -1 again. And for the third one, we get a -2. And it's only if we fail. No, it's not. If there's a ghoul, you take 1 damage. So 1 damage it is. So all 3 were successful, so we can just claim all the three ones from here. And we can just discard this now because there's nowhere else we're going to be playing things. And then we have Yorick, who is coming up here. We'll put a damage on the coat. It's why they're here, for being reusable. We're going to hit the ghoul once with 8 to 4. So this is +1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Let's see what happens. Auto fail, of course. We're going to do the same thing again, just to get rid of some cards. And this time we're going to tap this to add a bless token. And we'll pull one, a -1, so that's enough to hit it. But it will just deal 1 damage. So, click. And it is very likely that we're going to switch our weapon as the next thing we're doing. We might actually use this to switch it. It would actually be a good idea. So we moved up and failed and hit it. So that was us. This thing is exhausted, so it won't do anything. So we go to upkeep. Ooh, that's nice. If we get an enemy, that's an experience point. We get an opportunist, which is just a wild. And we'll get a doom. We have 3 more until this one flips. We'll get a card, so it's now 2 till it flips. And grasping hands with Finn, who has 5 against 3. We were 0, so there's no damage from this. And now this one thing untapped in the upkeep phase. And I'm actually going to keep it on Finn. I think. Where am I? Yeah, it's better to tap it. It's more about me getting to hit Finn, or it's better to be over here. So we are going to start out by, I think we're just going to take that last clue with Finn. So it's 5 against 1, so we do it. And is there one more? Oh, it's because he got 1, yeah. So that's dealt with. And I think we're going to, there's one action. Let's take a card. This can be useful because we have to deal with something later. We also did that. I think we have most of what we need right now. I think we might just move down here. Yeah, what are we going to do? We have 7 cards. Can I play something? Really? I'll just grab a resource then. We can always use this to boost something here. And over here, we're going to be hitting this guy. So it's 6 to 4. So that's 4 to 4, so that's a hit. So it's 2, and oh, I should have remembered to add this token. Oh, this token when I tapped it. And then as a first action, and then we're going to be playing Active Desperation. And we'll discard this. And we get to fight, and we get plus fight for what the cost of this, which is 3, and deal 1 more damage. So let's see what happens. A bless token and a -1. So that's a +1, which is a lot. And we are at 9. And we have to remove one of the blessed tokens we drew. And this will deal 2 damage to this, because this one deals an extra damage. And we get 3 resources. Also from this card, because we played it from here. This goes to a victory display. And I am thinking... You're not a lead, are you? No. I'm just going to... we could use it to remove a ghoul later, but I'm just going to use it on this. So this card is a fast reaction, so when we defeat something, we can use it on it. And move it to the victory display. And it gets +1 victory. So we're just going to be using it with this instead of an ordinary ghoul. And then we're going to be preparing for what's coming. I think this is at the end of the round. Yeah. And we're doing that by using 4 resources to play the Winchester. And then we're basically just going to fill up the bag with blessed tokens with these keep faith. Let's see, that's that. And we have no more enemies, so let's upkeep. So this is William's weakness, which says that if you fail a skill test, you take 1 horror. And it takes 2 to discard it. And I think we're probably going to use this turn for that. But we're not going to do it at all. There's a doom on this. And here we pick our luck picks, which I use to investigate with, but it's a bit late. And then we did that, so we have to pick a bad card. It's getting a bit foggy in here. It doesn't matter, it just increases the shroud. But there's nothing to get there anymore. And here we get a ghoul, which will be very nice for William. I think we're just going to eat this. I think I have horror soak enough for it. So I think what we're going to do here is yeah, we're just going to evade this. So 4 to 2 with a free evade action. So this is just tapped here. Exhausted. We're not allowed to say tap anymore. And then we're going to try to hit it, I think, because we don't really have much else to do. But we have to remember to get a resource from Lone Wolf. So 3 to 2. We get -1 because there's a ghoul, so we hit. And let's just do the last one too. Yeah, that doesn't hit. So 1 damage on it. And William is going down here. That's 1 action. And second action is going to hit the ghoul, which is a -1. And remember, we have 4. So the ghoul is done. That's the second action. And then we're going to be paying 2 resources to play Keep Fate, which adds 4 blessed tokens to the back. That's his actions. So we'll do upkeep. And to upkeep, I think we have too many cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Think we're going to discard. That's wild. Let's discard this staring. That's all. It's also wild. Can be useful. I will discard Lone Wolf. This one ticks. So we're at 7. And it says, a feral beast roughly humanoid with canine cast and hooves for feet tears through the ground in front of you. Below the floor you can see vast tunnels beneath your house. Fiendish howling echoes from deep within the underground caverns. We have to shuffle the discard pile into the encounter deck and draw until we find a ghoul, and then Yorick will have to take it. And this goes to 0, and now we have 10 turns, and it will force ghouls to move. So, not a ghoul, that's a ghoul. That's an icy ghoul. It's going to spawn down here. I wonder if we can deal with it. It's a bit annoying, but I think we're going to try to kill this, and this agenda card will force unengaged ghouls to move to the parlor. And if there is a ghoul at the parlor, we'll the hallway of the parlor, we will gain a doom. So I think we're just going to set up for this. So William will use 2 actions to discard this so we don't get extra damage, and spend 2 credits to play this and add 4 bliss tokens. So now we're ready. And the whole reason why we're doing this is that the Winchester, if you're drawing any non-negative cast token, you are getting +2 damage on your attack. So that's basically setting up for blasting away with this gun. And can we do anything here? I think we're going to try to we did this. Boom, boom, boom. So let me spend 1 action. So we can just draw some cards. This is going to be good. No. That's wrong. That's bad of me. I used 2 actions to get rid of the weakness. I think here we will be drawing 1 card. Oh, it's a weakness. We have to evade something twice to get rid of this. That's annoying, but we'll deal with it. We'll draw 1 more. And we'll draw 1 more. And then this guy here is going to move up to us because of the agenda deck. It tells us they're going to move closer. And it's going to engage. I think most likely it will engage because you want to evade it. Can you deal with the damage? Yeah, you can deal with the damage. We also have 1 million more if we need to. So let's just take 1 damage and soak the rest with him. and we'll do upkeep and upkeep. And now we have to choose what we do not want. I think we're going to throw this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I also think that I rather want a Leo if I need an ally. And then one more, the lockpicks. That's fine. Down to 8 cards. We'll put a Doom on. And this card should be down my discard pile. We'll draw a bad card. So we have to test head 4. So basically we're only getting through this test if we get Elder Sign. Hey, or maybe like this. Which gives us 5. So we actually don't have to, if we fail we have to discard an asset. So no asset discarded, but we have to remove one of our blessed tokens. And over here, it's the same. And here we're most likely going to be discarding, but we probably discard this one. So let's test. If you fail, you take 1 horror. Yeah. And we'll discard the Lone Wolf. And now it's our turn. So I think I want to do the double evade here. So it has 4, we have 5. I'm going to pay 4 resources here. So we get +4. So we can really fail on the auto fail. So it's -1, so it's fine. So this thing is not exhausted. And I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, I'm going to add this instead and spend 2 resources. We get a +1, so we deal with it, and this is discarded. We should have it on our hand. So actually, I should have discarded something more. It should probably be in this. So that's a free evade and an evade. And then we're going to play let's see. I think we can play the sneak attack here. It costs 2, and we deal 2 damage to this one. Like that. And then we'll just draw 1 more card. And then we'll do over here. I think we're just going to hit it using a vicious blow, which will give 1 fist and 1 extra damage, and a resourceful, which give 1 fist. So we're at 7 to 4, 7 to 3. We auto fail. That's nice. That's nice. So we'll have to shoot it and waste stuff here. And hope for the best. So pull -1. Actually, we shouldn't do it. We should just have fought. So we'll just reset it and 5 to 3. So we hit. And again, we hit. It's a +1. So this goes down. And we'll end up over here in the victory display. So that was a bit of a waste. So there's no enemies, so we can go to the upkeep. The upkeep. I was actually hoping to find one of Finn's weapons, because he has weapons hidden somewhere in there. We get a Doom. We'll draw our encounter card, which is, of course, the most sucky one again, Frozen in Fear. Hopefully we can get rid of it. And we can't play items. And when the round ends, we're going to spend our clues on flipping this. Using the barrel from the attic where the blood was dripping into and the ice from the cellar, we gather it up and hold it at the barrier, and the barrier shatters and it consumes the ice and then fades away. And we have to reveal the parlor. And we'll spawn the Ghoul Priest in 2 seconds and spawn Lita. So inside the parlor we can take a parley action to talk with Lita to get her on our side and help us. And that's, we can also resign, which we're not going to do. And then we have the Ghoul Priest who spawns here at the hallway, which have 4 and has 10 lives and 4 foot. And it will prey on the one with the highest fight, which is here. And it also has retaliate, which means it will hit back if you miss a hit on it, which isn't great. But William can soak most of it. We put on a Doom. We'll draw a bad card. We'll test a foot. This is really bad. We're going to succeed, but we're losing 2 blessed tokens. And we take no damage. And over here, running remain is the same thing, just with terror from your head terror. So this one should be discarded too. -2, so we take 3 sanity damage, which is a bit. Should be okay. So now we're going to do it like this. Finn is using 1 action to go in here. Then Finn will use his 4, 6, 7, 8 book to try to beat this test with 4 for the parlor. And there's no ghouls here, so it's just a 0, so we'll do it. And I think we succeed with more than 3, so we can pick this up again, which it says. It's a nice card to, just boost for tests. That's 1 action, that's 2 actions. And when we do that, we can take control of Lita. Lita, she takes up an ally slot, so she goes here. And she says that everybody gets +1 to fight. And when you hurt a monster, that monster takes 1 more damage. We get 1 more damage. So we'll walk back here. Spend the last one. And now we're going to attack the Ghoul Priest. We're going to spend 1 token here and shoot him with, we get +2, +1, so it's 7 against 4. So we hit him, deal 1 damage. We're hoping for more. We'll do it again. Deal 1 more. I was really hoping for some tokens here. And we'll do it again. At least we have a gun more. That's -2, which is still enough. So it's 3 damage. Oh, sorry, we had Lita here. So it's actually doubled up that. So it's at least 6 damage. Then we'll have to test this. Oh, sorry, it's only 4. Because I forgot, we have Frozen in Fear, who eats up 1 of our actions. For Frozen Fear, I'm going to add in Beloved. And I'm going to, and Finn can use one card too, so it's going to add the Secret Case, which gives me 5 to 3. And we pull a Bless token. I think we're going to pull another one. Yeah, 0. So we remove a Bless token and we'll succeed in getting this away. And then it's the monster, it's the enemy phase, and the Ghoul Priest is going to hit us. We're going to take 1 damage, and this is going away. And this is going to take 2 damage because it is 2 of each. But that's why we have them to circle this, and you can see how healthy William is at this point in the game. We'll add a Doom. Still 10, so we got enough time. We draw an encounter card, which is a Ghoul. We're not going to care about this, we just want to kill this one. And we'll draw an encounter card, we'll test. It's 5 - 2, which is 3 against 3, so we'll succeed. I also forget to add this fight to this, but that doesn't matter. So now it's our turn. So hopefully this is going to be the end of the Ghoul. I think what we're going to do is that we're going to grab this over here for an action. Oh, I forgot the upkeep. Could be something interesting going on. Yeah, I think that changes things a little bit. We're going to be playing this gun here. For 1 action, then we'll engage this for 1 action. Then we'll use a free. Oh, it's the wrong one. We'll use a free evade action. Right now it's 5. It's going to be 7. It's going to be 8 against 4. That sucks. So we're going to try with 5 instead. It didn't work. So that was sad. Okay. Lita can handle a hit from this, so that's okay. She can be tanking it. So over here, we're going to shoot the Ghoul Priest, and we get +2, +1, +1 from Lita, which I forgot the other time because she gives it to everyone. So it's 8 against 4. And we hit the Elder Sign, which means we can return a card from a discard pile to our hand. I actually think I'm going to bring back one of these just in case. Not that case matters much because the Elder Sign also triggers my weapon. So it deals 2 more damage. So we are going to deal 4 damage to the Ghoul. 1 normal damage, 2 from this, and 1 from Lita. So 8 damage here. And now we drew it. We drew it there. So 8 damage. So let's shoot again. Let's just there's nothing that can fail, only the auto fail. So -2. If there is a Ghoul, it's going to hit you. So we take 1 damage. Wink. It's okay. And we'll deal 2 damage to this. And it will die. And go to the display. That also gives us the maximum experience we can for this scenario. So, with that done, we have to read the act deck, which activates when the Ghoul Priest dies. When a rogue creature falls, the fiendish swarm burrows back into the ground and the chaos of the house quiets, but the stranger in your parlor doesn't seem relieved. You broke my seal that was set to trap the ghouls within. She raises a torch. Now we must take more direct measures and burn the hell pit to the ground. And we have to decide if we're going to burn down our house or if we're going to keep it. I think William had enough, so he'll just say, "Okay, I got this. I'll just burn it down." Which means we're going to resolution 1. And in resolution 1, once you're not allowed a red-haired woman to set the walls and the floor of your house ablaze, the fire spread quickly, and you run out of the front door to avoid being caught in the inferno. From the sidewalk, you watch as everything you own is consumed by flames. "Come with me," the woman says. "You must be told of the threat that lurks below. Alone we are surely doomed, but together we can stop it." So we are going to write in a campaign log that we burned the house down. That's done. Okay. Lita can be added to Yorick's deck, and I think we're going to do that. I might think about a charisma even. So Lita goes into this deck here. And then we have to flip the page. We also suffer 1 mental trauma because we burned down the house. So this is William. He suffers 1 mental trauma, and this is going to be Finn. Which of course means that we are starting with 1 sanity damage or 1 horror damage every time we start a new scenario. And then we gain experience based on what's the victory display, and we have to add these 2 locations that we emptied. So we're going to be earning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 bonus experiences from here. So we're going to be getting 9 experience points, which is going to be quite nice. Okay. And then we're done with this scenario.